How's it going, everyone? Today I'll be showing you how to build a one block wide tileable exact payment system in Bedrock 1.19. Before we begin, I've built 4 of these next to each other so we can test them out. Heading into my shop, I see a few different offers. Here we have 6 emeralds for a diamond sword. We'll put our payment in the barrel, and as you can see, it gets sucked down into the system and counted. Once the system counts the full payment, our product will appear. This system will only accept the payment type we choose, so it won't try to take anything other than emeralds for this offer. Up next, we can actually see this redstone lamp is unlit, meaning the shop is out of stock, so we won't be able to take part in this one. Let's skip ahead to the one on the end. Here we have 1 dirt for 2 grass blocks, and as you can see, we quickly receive our product. Now 10 diamonds for 1 hay bale is pretty steep pricing, so we'll go ahead and try to underpay, but you'll see our system will wait for that last one. And once we complete the payment, we'll receive our product. Now up top, this flashing light means the kiosk is in reset, meaning we won't be able to use it. However, this does not affect adjacent kiosks. With the light no longer blinking, this kiosk is ready to use again. The dimensions of the build are 14 blocks long, 1 block wide, and 8 blocks tall. That's going to be 4 blocks going above the level of the floor in your shop and 4 blocks going below, with 3 blocks going in front of the wall. However, if you're building multiple of these side by side, I can show you how to get that down to just 2 blocks in front. Alright, real quick, I promise I'll get to building the thing, but first I wanted to go over some of the features and limitations of the build. You can set the price, product, and currency of your system, and it'll handle the transaction with the customer for you. Now, your output can be adjusted. You'll have to add in some additional parts. I may show you some of that later on. It does have a built-in reset display. That's the blinking lights up top to tell you not to use the kiosk temporarily, as the system can't take multiple requests at the same time. And the higher the price is set to, the longer the reset. But did I mention it was 1 block tileable? Now to take a look at the components you'll need to build. Starting with 7 of whatever stackable item you would like your currency to be, though you may want more to test out your machine once we're finished. In this case, I'll be using diamonds. Next, you'll want the product your shop is selling, which can be anything. I'll be using hay bales. You'll want at least 18 building blocks, though you may want more as temporary blocks to stand on. And since most of them have to be solid, I would recommend bringing something like wood planks. Then you'll need 3 barrels, 9 hoppers, 7 redstone comparators, 4 redstone repeaters, 5 redstone torches, 2 redstone dust, 2 droppers, 4 randomly named items stackable to 16, like ender pearls or eggs. Then you'll want a number of stackable items equal to 3 plus whatever the price of your shop will be. In this case, I'm using sticks as they are really easy to obtain. Since my price is 10, that means I'll need 13. Then you'll need 6 sticky pistons, 4 blocks of redstone, 1 redstone lamp, 2 observers, an item frame, and a named copy of the product you're selling with your offer. Here it reads 10 diamonds for 1 hay bale. You may also want a sign to assist customers on how to use the shop, as well as carpet or something like a slab to cover up an exposed part of the circuit. I also included an anvil, as you'll need one of those to change the names of some of the items. Now I'll fill my hotbar with the first items we'll need, and the rest can go in the inventory. Now, standing on the floor of my shop, you want to establish where you're actually building the shop. I'm going to use one of these other kiosks as a reference, so I'll build 3 blocks out and place a barrel on that. This will be the barrel that accepts our payment. And with that, we can start with the item filter. You will want to break this block and place a hopper going into this block here. Place a barrel underneath this block, and crouch and place another hopper with its nozzle facing into that barrel. Next, you'll want to build this formation of block with your building block, starting with a block here, here, one down here, a temporary block in the middle here, another block here, break the block in the middle. Now we can come up top and place a redstone comparator facing away from this hopper. and place 2 redstone dust coming off of it like this. Next, we'll come down here into this pocket and place a redstone repeater looking towards the front of the shop. Now we'll take a redstone torch and place it attached to this block underneath the hoppers, and our hoppers are now ready to receive items for the filter. First, you can take the randomly named items and place one in each of these slots, and then follow that up with placing your 7 currency into that first slot. You'll see one tick down that's going into the bottom hopper, which means our item filter is working. Next, we can destroy these 2 blocks, switch over to our hopper, place a hopper going into this block here, come up, destroy this block, and place another hopper going into this one. Go ahead and place one of your stackable items inside one of the hoppers, and you should see it bounce back and forth between the two. Next, we'll take a redstone comparator coming off of that hopper, and you should see it light up, turning off and on. And with that, our timer and item filter are both done. This timer here is to slow down the item filter so it can accurately count the pulses it'll receive when taking in payment. Next, we can build the actual counter portion of the machine, starting with a dropper coming off the side of this block facing up. You'll want the whole of the dropper to look like this, and you can go ahead and place your stackable items equal to your price in that dropper. Next, we'll crouch and place a hopper on top of that dropper, the nozzle pointing in, and we'll come around and build a block coming off the dropper. On top of that block, facing away from the hopper, you'll place a redstone comparator, and then place a block down here in front. Also with a comparator facing away, and then we'll come down and place a temporary block here with a hopper going into it, destroy the temporary block, and place another hopper going into that hopper. The 2 nozzles should be pointing into each other, and we can take another one of our stackable items and place it in. You should see it going in and out of either hopper. Now we can crouch and place a block on top of this hopper, come up above this lower comparator, crouch, jump and place a sticky piston facing up. Should look like this. Then come back on top of that sticky piston and place a barrel. Inside that barrel, you can put the last of your stackable items, and then turn around, place a block coming off the side of that barrel with a redstone comparator on that. Next, come to the edge here and build a temporary block on the side of this block, and then one on top. Destroy the temporary block, and drop down and place a sticky piston facing down coming off of that block. You'll want to place your block of redstone onto that sticky piston, and now we can start our redstone torch tower. Place a redstone comparator looking away from this hopper, and then place one of your building blocks with a redstone torch on top of that. We'll need to build another block on top of that torch, with another torch on top of that, another block, another torch, and then you can place a block in between these 2 blocks. With a repeater coming off of that torch, you should see it light up, and a block in front of that. Then come around, and off that freshly placed block, you'll place a sticky piston facing towards the front of the shop, like so. It should extend, and you can place a block of redstone on top of that. On the side of that block of redstone, facing down, you'll place a sticky piston, which should also extend. And in between the sticky piston and this hopper here, you'll place a block of redstone. This concludes our counter, and we can return to our redstone torch tower. You'll want one last block on top of this torch, with a torch coming off of the side of this block. Turn around and place a redstone repeater looking away from that torch. walk across here and place a sticky piston coming off of that repeater. It should be looking sideways towards the front of your shop. Place a block of redstone on that, and then on top of this piston here, you can place a redstone repeater. Next, we'll come to the side of the piston and place a temporary block here, and then a block on top. Destroy the temporary block, hop on top, go into our inventory, and we'll need our redstone lamps, observers, and you can start by placing a redstone lamp on your original barrel. Place a regular block on that lamp, and then you can crouch, place a hopper pointing into that barrel, place a hopper coming off that hopper, place a redstone comparator on top of that hopper, looking away from you, jump across here, and we can place a dropper coming off of this block. This is where our product will be stored. You can go ahead and add that now. You'll see this comparator light up, as well as this redstone lamp. Next, we'll need a sticky piston on top of this block. We'll want a temporary block here to stand on, and we can place an observer facing towards that sticky piston. The arrow should be pointing towards the front of the shop. We can break the temporary block, jump back over, crouch, and place an observer facing towards the front of the shop. The arrow will be facing towards the back, and these two faces of the observers should be looking at each other. Now to add our finishing touches, we can pull out our item frame and our offer and sign and carpet. We can place the item frame on top of your redstone lamp, put the offer in there, 10 diamonds for 1 hay bale, put the sign if you wish, as well as inside the barrel, you may test out your offer. So as we can see, the payment is getting sucked down into the system. We can also make sure it'll accept no other item. Very good. And then we should receive our product. Perfect. You can cover this up now with carpet. However, if you are building multiple of these side by side, then I recommend building this hopper system in the front sideways, and I'll show you that. You'll break both hoppers. Well, first you'll want to place another hopper going into the side of that one. Break the last original hopper and place another hopper going into that one. The nozzles should be facing each other. And then go ahead and replace your stackable item in there. What this does is that for the adjacent kiosk's timer, you won't have to waste another hopper, and it also shortens the frontal length of this build. And with that, you have it. That is how you build the 1 block wide tileable exact payment system 2.0 in Minecraft Bedrock. For performing maintenance on your shop, I recommend building one of these service tunnels underneath. That will give you access to the payment barrels, as well as this section here, which gives you access to these droppers that control the price of your product, as well as these hoppers that control the currency, and these top droppers that hold your product for restock or changing your product. Now to change the output of your machine, I have a few easy methods we can try. First, a price level of just 1 will always baseline eject 2 outputs. This is because at this price level, the machine fires so fast that the reset can't stop it, and it'll send a second output. Let's try and change the output at a price higher than 1. So I'll add a stick into this dropper, that'll make the price 2, and to double the output, sending it from 1 to 2, we can come to the back of this, destroy this repeater here, coming off this top torch, and place an observer looking at the torch. And what this will do is this will have the dropper fire twice, giving us 2 outputs. And as you can see, we get twice the output. Now this isn't recommended at higher price levels, as the second output comes after the full reset has taken place. So I'd only recommend using this method if your price is lower than 10. This method also doesn't work consistently with a price level of 1, as you'll get either 3 or 4 products. Now, a consistent strategy that also works with a price level of 1, we'll come back here and replace the repeater, is we can come up to the side of this piston and place a dropper facing forward and a hopper going into the side of this bottom dropper. Then we can add product, and you'll want to make sure there is an equal amount of product between your two droppers so that your redstone lamp can accurately depict when you have stock. I'll add some stock to this, and as you can see, when we pay the cost, we should receive an output of 2 as well. This method does work for a price level of 1, and you combine both methods to double the output a second time. We'll add the observer back here, and as you can see, we'll put in our payment, and we should get back 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm sure there are other ways to increase the output. These are just the easier ways, and thank you all very much for watching.